Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Re-Experience, or as we like to call it, Re3s, where, you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game series. In this edition of Re3, we're going to be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing Halo from the start with Combat Evolved, and ending with Halo 5 Guardians in anticipation for, you guessed it, Halo Infinite. And here to go on Master Chief Saga with me, you know him, you love him, the triple threat, Chris Trio, and Delaware County's own Chris Geddes. Guys, episode 15, welcome back.
Episode 15.
We're flying through this.
Wow. And we're almost done. We got this episode, and like we said before, two more episodes of Halo. And like, think about Halo 2. Like, it was so much longer.
Yeah, why did Halo 2 take so long?
I mean, it literally,
it must have been like that.
Longer.
Yeah, wow. Huh.
Considering the jump of like weapons and vehicles.
That's so true. We had to talk about something like even this episode. It looks like we don't have a ton of new ordnance to talk about and stuff, right? Like,
there's a lot of dialogue.
I noticed.
Coming
That's
up.
what I thought. Like, it's just mostly like we're starting off with
the storm.
The storm, obviously.
Yeah. So, like Trio just said, this is going to be the storm and the floodgate. And yeah, I think like you're right. Like, there's really not. Now we're into the part where like there's nothing new. And we were saying in last episode, like, besides the spiker and one other gun, there's one other gun that's new. Trying to think of
Carbine, wasn't that new for that game? Was that in the second one?
There's one other gun that's like brand new. Everything
the
else.
spiker and
The assault rifle's back. Whatever. But yeah, there's like not a ton of new stuff. But with Halo 4, not like we're getting to Halo 4 for a little bit, but with Halo 4, like, we have all new enemies, all new weapons. And then with like even ODST and even Reach a little bit, it's like a retread, but Reach has some like different stuff that's going to be interesting.
What they were saying about the multiplayer for Infinite, how it's Reach team?
Season 1.
That should be cool.
I think that's dope.
I think that's exactly what you need to put out to like
agree.
Keep the drumming up the hype. Like, that's just enough information.
I thought that was a great move, for real. Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of Halo 4, I've been playing the shit out of that multiplayer, man.
Really?
I love Halo. There's no Halo 5, so I can't play it.
True.
So
Halo 4.
And you still, like, a lot of people on there? Like, you have no issue? Wow.
Yeah.
I've been doing some trophy grinding or achievement grinding on the Master Chief Collection, getting into some like boosting lobbies, you know,
nice,
because that's what you have to do.
Yeah, man.
250 capture the flag medals. Like, how are you supposed to do that normally? Like, come on.
Nobody wants to play capture the flag that long.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ,
dude. The achievements in that game are unreal.
I always think multiplayer achievements are such like
me too.
Like, especially getting into like that degree. Like, I feel like one of the only ones that you've told me about that seems a tiny bit reasonable was Red Dead's. They didn't seem that. Crazy
Red
for
Dead's
like the multiplayer.
What were they?
Like, it's level up, like get MVP
like
3
own
times.
5 horse stables at once or something, right? Or 5 horses. Like, it wasn't stuff that was
not,
like reach a certain
was there any
rank?
placing stuff
No.
like for the PvP? So that again, like, I hate it when it's stuff like. What wasn't there a Gears trophy that you were grinding for like years?
Seriously. Well, Gears 1 was seriously, and that was just 10,000 kills, and that's how it is in the first game, the Ultimate Edition. I got that. That was the first seriously I ever got. Gears 4, I spent, not last summer, but the summer before, I pretty much played Gears 4 from, like, June to October when it came out, grinding Horde to get seriously.
I remember that.
Like, I spent, like,
I remember when we were trying to do
ridiculous hours.
Didn't we try to do the campaign and then
You
just
wanted
simmer it off?
No, we finished.
Oh, that's right.
You wanted to play Gears 4 campaign, and I'm like, listen, I want to play, but like, we got to play with Iron Man on. You play on casual, I'll play on hardcore, and if we die, we have to do this thing where like I delete my save off my Xbox, it's uploaded to my cloud. So Iron Man, like in Halo, the skull, you have to restart the level.
Okay.
Every time you die, but you can abuse it by deleting your save, getting it off the cloud. It doesn't have enough time to cycle, and you just re-download your save, and you just go right back. But every time you die, you have to do that.
Oh man!
So
we die, and then Gish back. All right, hold on, and then you close the game, restart.
And there were a few parts like the where you have to drive the motorcycle, and you're fighting the condor or whatever.
It's pretty tough.
This stuff is stupid.
We did get through the whole thing.
I have to do it with Gears 5.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they added it, and I'm just like,
you jerk off.
But I've been playing Gears 5 has been much better, like with their multiplayer support. Like, the game has been much more fun to like keep playing. Just like I feel like most multiplayers are now. I can't wait until see what like what Halo's pass system is, what Battlefield 2042's pass system is.
Am I misunderstanding or am I misremembering? Didn't they say once you buy it, you own the battle pass forever?
Yeah, they're not going to expire.
Oh,
but there is
a
pass.
But you'll keep buying the new passes.
Yeah, or if you miss one, like
you can go back and
fear
buy
of missing out. It's something that
it is funny because there are like passes. Well, we'll get off this tangent, get back to Halo in a second. But there's
still on
a part in Red Dead 2's online with some of those things that you earn through some of those battle passes. They're like fast travel you earned through that. There was like things that allow like fast travel from your camp, like bigger like inventory sizes and things like that you could only earn through those battle passes. So I'm like, can you still earn them somehow, or like are you just
Probably
fucked
not.
with that?
It's like the same thing with outfits.
That's
right?
what. So like,
don't they tie characters like classes to the battle passes?
In Red Dead, it's more just like things that kind of help your character. Like they're like it'll give you a satchel upgrade so you can carry more weapon ammo at a time. Like that comes in the pass, but like. Once that pass is over, you can access that pass. So I'm curious if someone were to start playing today, I don't think they'd be able to get those upgrades.
Definitely not.
So
it's the same thing with Apex. You can't.
But again,
skins are gone.
But that's like with Red Dead. That's more like gameplay. Like that's legitimate. Like that's affecting how many rounds I have on me.
No,
versus
you're right.
like whereas like
Absolutely.
Apex,
Right.
you're just missing out on a cosmetic thing.
Yeah,
so it's just an interesting thought. But you know what? Let's get the fuck back into Halo.
Let's get the fuck back into it. The Storm, here's our synopsis. This is the 5th mission of Halo 3. Along with a convoy of Marines, the Master Chief will move through a large industrial zone in the town of Voy to ultimately destroy an AA gun to allow Lord Hood's small fleet to assault the Ark and kill Truth. The Warthogs emerge from the tunnel in a parking lot, scattered with a destroyed Warthog chassis and Marine and Grunt corpses. The Warthogs roll to a halt as the Marines and Master Chief walk out, and the Marines form a perimeter outside the locked door. The Master Chief opens the door into an empty factory section and then into another section with Covenant. And we're pretty much just going through room to room, killing Covenant. And a Warthog and a squad will follow him. Eventually, we'll get to another set of doors leading to a factory tunnel full of brutes and jackals, grunts, and even a pair of ghosts. Beyond that is another door that will lead to a lake bed. After cleansing the tunnel, the UNSC forces open the next door, revealing a massive expanse with cruising ghosts and heavy Covenant garrison. Who wants to be Miranda?
I'll be Miranda.
All right. Kilo 2-3, this is you. Oh, I'm Lord Hood.
I would have never guessed.
Kilo 2-3, this is UNSC, forward unto dawn. I need a sit rec, Commander.
Atmospheric disturbances are intensifying above the artifact, Admiral.
And Sierra 117,
Moving as fast as he can, sir. I know he'll get it done.
this is the first mention of the frigate, forward unto dawn, which we'll get very familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Coming the end of the game and Halo 4 as well. And we've already talked about, well, the series Forward Unto Dawn. But yeah, I won't put that doc in there until I think I'm going to do it at the start of Halo 2 since we're actually in the ship. It just makes more sense.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. At this location, we have to take out wraiths guarding our way to the next section. Among them is an AA wraith or anti-aircraft wraith, and this is the first time we're seeing this in the series.
Can you pilot these?
No.
I didn't think you could. I didn't get the chance to try.
So I have some trivia mentioning that.
Okay, well,
You're thinking ahead.
I am.
Love it.
I get ahead of myself. What can I say?
No. This is a more interesting one.
Because I blew it. Like I blew a pilot out. Like, and the thing wasn't complete. I'm like, oh, can I get in it? And I didn't. I just blew it up. I didn't try.
That was one of those things that I feel like a ton of people were like, dude, you can get in the AA gun if you glitch it, which you could. Like you could get in it if you maneuvered yourself.
And
some
could you
way.
fire the actual AA rounds and stuff?
No,
or
you could just get in it, and it would just sit there.
That's fine.
The Type 52 anti-aircraft artillery, often referred as the anti-air wraith, is a specialized anti-aircraft vehicle. The Type 52 model is equipped with 2 rapid-fire, double-barreled fuel cannons as its main armament. These cannons fire specialized Class 3 fuel rods, which have a greater range than the Class 2 rounds that are capable of tracking, and they are capable of tracking an aircraft's heat signature. So here's some trivia for you. Even though Bungie didn't make the AA Wraith a drivable vehicle in the traditional sense, it is possible to board and ride in one by exploiting the dead man switch. The player can take control of the AA Wraith When exiting it, a similar animation to the normal Wraith is shown, the cannons folding together and going down through the hatch. Even though you can still ride the Wraith, the attack power of it is greatly reduced in comparison to the AI-controlled AA Wraith. So I was wrong.
So maybe you can actually fire it instead, yeah.
After Halo 3 was ported to the PC edition of the Master Chief Collections, 343 Industries added the AA Wraith to Halo 3's Forge. Unlike the campaign, the Dead Man switch was removed, allowing it to be fully operational, and the plasma turret is even given a crosshair similar to that of the Type 62, which is, I think, there's the
Oh wow! So at a later time, it was added in to Halo 3
like a year ago.
To Halo 3?
PC edition of the Master Chief Collection. It hasn't been out that long.
I guess not. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And you'll most likely destroy these wraiths with a missile pod. So we're picking up the missile pod. The LAU-65D/SGM-151.
That's a mouthful.
Also known as the missile pod, is the UNSC emplacement launcher unit, which fires self-guided missiles. Capable of seeking and tracking targets at long distances, it is most commonly fired from a static position, while reports have surfaced of troops removing pods from its fixed emplacements and using it in mobile fashion. These have so far been inconclusive. That's really interesting that they decided to put that in the bio, because I think most of the time, I mean, I know you can find them in this level stationary, but like, you know, you're ripping them off. And you're
I completely
Chiefs
missed
walking
these.
around with it.
I don't know.
You didn't
I
really
didn't pick these up.
Use
No.
the missile pod?
No, I was on a Ghost, so I just
wow.
kind of must have driven by them or something.
I think I got the Ghost, but like you drive around the perimeter, and then like instead of going straight towards where you're supposed to go, there's like a little, not an island, but like a I don't know, like a middle thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I
yeah,
trying
sure.
to say?
A peninsula? No, I don't know.
It's like a thing sticking out, and there's
Yeah.
like Covenant in there, and there's a sniper in there.
Interesting.
Too.
Okay.
Some trivia. This weapon is somewhat similar to the modern day Javelin, and both lock on and shoot their missile upward and attack from a top down strike. I also found the power drain here, but I'm sure you can get it earlier. I'm trying to as I'm going through this, I'm like, I don't think I did the power drain yet. So
I thought we
did
we not?
No, we did like a bunch. We did the flare.
Yeah, the flare and the
Interesting.
regenerator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bubble shield.
So the power drain is an energy sapping device used by the Covenant Jiralhani forces. The power drain creates a short-range electromagnetic pulse, EMP, effect, which interferes with all electronic equipment within radius of the pulse. It is designed primarily to interfere with common varieties of electrical field-based shielding, as well as electrical components of vehicles.
You guys remember that point in like movie history where they would just explain what an EMP to you is, like in every single movie?
Yes.
I feel like there was a big swing. I miss it. I'm sorry. Continue. I just wanted to say, it happened so much. Like it really
I was
did.
like, I know what an EMP is. Or like when you...
What's an EMP? Well, sir, it's an electromagnetic pulse device. Sorry.
It's like, explain.
In detail.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Master Chief and the Marines enter the next section of the next factory tunnel section. As we make our way to that next section, Cortana interrupts us with another vision. I have defiled gods and demons.
Defied.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely not defiled.
Did she fuck some gods and demons?
Oh man,
I wouldn't put it past
there's you can find that on the internet.
And
Absolutely.
And if you guys remember, we're gonna get the rest of the section, but this is the Cortana line from the first teaser trailer. Fucking reused assets, am I right, guys?
Let's go, Bungie.
Fucking shit.
Fucking trash dev over here. At the end of the tunnel, there are 4 mongoose. I guess that would technically be.
I think it's
Mongoosen.
mongooses.
No, it would be mongoose,
Plural
right?
of goose is geese.
But see, does it? I know, I get that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying when you use it as like,
there are 4 mongoose vehicles, which would make sense.
So,
but
you
like
know
if I took out vehicles, would it be mongoose or mongooses?
we need to know.
Well, next to that, there's a rack of weapons. Marines rushed to man the ATVs, and at this point, we would get in the mongoose. Well, this is still relevant.
you're right. It's mongoose. You're right.
All right.
Really?
All right.
Mongoose, huh?
That's what it's saying.
I wonder if they ever used did they ever say the plural of mongoose in Halo? Like, I don't think they've ever said
Well,
mongoose.
so I guess mongoose are an actual real animal. Apparently, I didn't know that.
You didn't?
I know.
Wait.
right.
wait.
I don't know. What is a mongoose?
Are you fucking serious?
I don't know. I know a goose. Is it a type of goose?
You've never had a mongoose scooter as a kid?
No, they're no.
A mongoose is an animal.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
It's like
past part one.
I would like
a mirror. It's almost like a.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a badger or something like
Kinda,
that. Like
yeah.
it's like that kind of animal.
That's what it's saying here. It's saying any of numerous long, slender carnivore mammals, family Heperistidae, chiefly of
Now you know how it
Africa
feels to read things.
or southern Europe and Asia, that are usually ferret-sized, agile mammals, typically with non-retractable sharp claws, short legs, long tails, and usually a brownish or grayish fur, sometimes with bands or stripes. Okay, so this is you learn something new every day.
Yeah, we just learned about the animal, the mongoose.
The mongoose, as
now
well
we're gonna
as
learn
the-
about the Halo vehicle,
the mongoose.
the titular mongoose. The M274 ultralight all-terrain vehicle, commonly known as the Mongoose, is a United Nations Space Command light ground recon vehicle designed by MAG Transport Dynamics. The Mongoose lacks weapons, but can carry a driver and a passenger. The passenger can fire their weapons, but will not be able to zoom in. The Mongoose ULATV is one of the most maneuverable ground vehicles in the UNSC's arsenal. It is a highly effective vehicle for recon and rapid transportation. The Mongoose is a difficult target due to its smaller size, but high speed, just like the real animal, as we learned on this podcast. Yeah, but its high speed and light mass make it vulnerable to crashes and flips at high speeds over unstable terrain. I'm sure we've all gotten into some crazy flips. I had some playing.
Oh yeah,
the
that thing can
Storm,
go
actually,
crazy.
Ironically, to
Absolutely.
make matters worse, the design of the vehicle. To make matters worse, the design of the vehicle and its lack of armor leave both driver and passenger completely exposed. The standard UNSC Marine Corps operating protocol and engagements against the Covenant forces is to place an M41 rocket launcher armed Marine in the passenger position to fire rockets against slow-moving hostile vehicles, while the driver uses the Mongoose superior speed to evade enemy return fire. For a quick and practical deployment, the Mongoose can be transported by pelicans and elephants, and that's pretty much exactly what the Mongooses are used for in
Forgot
campaign
about elephants.
to the T.
I thought
The
when you said
elephants,
elephants,
yeah.
I was like the animal, the elephant.
Yeah, well, let's
Yeah.
learn about the elephants. Yeah, I when I was fighting the scarab, I don't think it stepped on me. Nah, maybe it did. Something hit me and I just flew right off the fucking side.
Like, later.
Think about how small, like, have you looked at a scarab's foot? Like, it doesn't take up that much room. It's like really small. Like, it's like what touches the ground.
Yeah.
And like if it hits something, like I remember like even back in the day, like if you got stepped on, you fucking
You
like
just fly.
you just flew out of
Yeah.
the map. Like you like it
my
glitched
God.
you
Crazy
out.
physics stuff. I mean, it keeps going. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like this, like there's two objects of collision: the ground and the thing, and it's smashing this object, so it just fucking like
Yeah.
freaks the hell
Jesus
out.
Christ.
Some trivia. The Mongoose was originally intended to be put in Halo 2, but was cut. The Mongoose prototype did not fulfill Bungie's expectations for Halo 2, and although Bungie attempted to add dual coaxial machine guns to it or an armed passenger, it remained imbalanced and didn't fit into the gameplay. Bungie at the time could not figure out a way to implement it into the campaign and had trouble getting the physics for it right, stating that the whole thing had a tendency to flip very easily and gameplay-wise had no purpose.
Didn't 343 eventually put guns on the front?
Yeah.
Was that Halo 4, Halo 5?
I think Halo 2 Anniversary has them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's like the later. Maybe you are right.
I feel
Maybe
like
Halo
that does
5.
sound vaguely familiar.
Maybe Halo 5
or
has
even
them.
4. No, have you not noticed anything in like a multiplayer?
I really don't know. I've really only played like Slayer and.
So yeah, that makes sense.
I played. Sorry, we're going off track. Halo 4.
No.
I played Ricochet.
Yeah.
That was
game?
it's like football. Throw the ball and you run it in the square.
I actually, it's funny that I did some boosting this week because like one of the game modes in the playlist that we were boosting was Ricochet, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's what I said. And then Extraction. I don't remember those game modes from Halo 4 at all.
Extraction.
feel like
Yeah,
Halo
it's kind of
4
like
they really-
Rush
yeah.
from Battlefield. So like you would go to the 2 points and arm it.
No,
But both teams could
what
arm
it
it.
is like is an adaptation of whatever the Halo Reach Spartan versus Elite game mode was, because that was Rush. Yeah, okay, I do remember that.
Invasion.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. All right, so we are here in this area fighting the Scarab, and this is the T-47B Durotas compared to in Halo 2 we are fighting the T-47A Protoss, not to get confused.
Don't want to get those.
Didn't one of them?
confused, yeah.
I thought I read somewhere that one of them had like an AI on board. One of the Scarabs that you fight. I'm not sure.
In this game?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Halo 2 or Halo 3. It was one of the Scarabs that you fight.
Interesting.
But guys, what did we think of the Scarab fight in general? Like the event that this is?
I thought this was a lot of fun. Honestly, just going around and like I had my fucking ghost going crazy. You know, you just shoot.
You didn't take the mongoose.
No, I didn't take the mongoose.
I like driving the mongoose because
Yeah.
the Marines are really good shots.
No, they are. Yeah,
Oh,
they know what they're
absolutely.
doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I will say they do a good job of balancing out. Like if you do want to just drive around some people, they do. They help you. They don't just sit
Right.
around doing bullshit.
Right,
Which is
'cause
nice.
that would be the bad instance. It's like, oh, I didn't get in the mongoose because the Marines suck.
Yeah, like what's the point exactly?
Yeah.
No, so that does. I don't know why. I just favor the ghost, but you know, I don't know. Wasn't anything crazy. It definitely brought back memories. I was like, oh, this is the Scarab I remember, because
Yeah.
the one from the last game I did like. This was what I thought I was gonna see when I got on board, but it was this one. This
Yeah,
time.
I really like the Scarab mechanics. It's like, okay, like there's a fight inside of it or outside of it, and it's usually okay, like whatever Covenant forces are patrolling around or in the sky or whatever. And then you do enough damage to it, it grounds itself, and then you can either shoot. I don't think. Well, actually, in this level, you probably could if you had a missile pod or grenade or rocket launcher, but you could shoot off the back and shoot the core without going in it, or you can board it and like kill the Covenant in there and then like fucking grenade that shit and jump out.
See ya.
Couldn't you shoot its legs down too?
That's
Yeah.
Shoot its legs. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
shoot
then
its
that
legs and
brings
have
it
it
down,
brings
and
it
then,
down.
Yeah, that's how
Okay. How did you guys beat it? Did you just
That's
board
what I
it
did.
like
I
normal?
boarded it. I
You
shot
just-
its leg. It went down. Then I just went to the
I
back.
just
and
went up
ting,
the
ting, ting.
elevator. Yeah, I did the elevator and it jumped off when it was coming around.
Yeah,
yeah,
I pretty much you can go up that elevator.
That's the way I did it before.
Yeah. So what I did was I just rode around with my Marine. He shot the legs. I boarded. I went in
okay.
there. Yeah.
You guys did it the fun way.
Old fashioned.
I did it like the.
I remember. I know that elevator, and you're just making me remember it now. And then there's missile pods over there
Yeah.
too. There's a bunch of Marines, but this was the first time I noticed like there's a lot of enemies and allies on screen at this point. Like there's a lot going on.
No, there is a lot going on.
And
This felt like a real
there's
battlefield.
hornets in the air. There's banshees. Whether they're actually like, like they're high. I feel like they might not
They're in
actually
like
be
the
like
skybox.
right.
Just like,
Like fighting. Like there's so much going on. I'm like, man, this was like one of my first memories talking about or playing Halo. Like I remember doing this with Tim Appleby at his house, and Scarab's awesome.
They
Like,
definitely stick out in
what
your mind.
what an improvement though from Halo 2. Like you only board it one time in Halo 2, and it's quick and like it's the end
There's
of the
not
level.
much going on either,
Right.
really. Yeah.
But like I know there's one on the Covenant level. Maybe that's the only and Arc. Like and yeah, you encounter them a lot, and I feel like they make them like a much cooler mainstay.
Sure. Absolutely. I totally agree. Again, this was the Scarab I remembered. I
Right.
did not even remember that first.
Yeah, and I feel like most people are in that same
I didn't
boat.
really even realize that they changed it so drastically. To be honest,
You being
apparently
serious?
there's like
I'm not kidding.
No,
Yeah.
I feel it's
there's
It
like
is,
Legolo in it, and it's around its core.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
The glow.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
is
that's
that
like an energy-
is,
oh.
is that what that is?
I thought
yeah,
it
it's
was
like
an energy
Legolo.
shield. Oh.
Holy shit. I never really thought about it. I always knew the core was fleshy looking. I didn't know it was actually a hunter.
That is weird. Interesting.
It's actually
so like they're
biomechanical construct that makes extensive use of Legolo. That's the one that you fight. That's crazy.
That's
Jesus.
weird. And they never touch on that.
No.
But yeah, I always noticed the core is like fleshy. Yeah, I always knew that. I never really thought about it until you just brought it up.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
that's an interesting point.
Anything? All right. Do you have another point? Okay, I just see you scrolling through.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to see if I can find out which one was had the AI in it, because I remember reading something about it. Maybe it's like from a different game or from a different, not 3.
All right.
We finished that Scarab fight and we were moving on. The door opens up, leading to a dirty, tin-walled section filled with wounded Marines and civilians laying on the floor. Several grim-faced Marines are standing behind sandbags, tending to the wounded and operating the sole UNSC field radio available. We get another Cortana moment. I am your shield. I am your sword. Again, another line from that teaser trailer. I'll be Hood again.
We'll keep it with keys.
I'll do the naval officer.
Yeah.
All brute cruisers are pulling back to Truth's ship. Winds inside the storm just hit 200 kilometers per hour. Energy cascades all over the artifact.
Admiral, a single Covenant ship has slipped in system.
Just one? What's the rage and disposition?
Above the artifact, inside the orbital line. Seems to be holding steady.
The attack proceeds as planned, Commander. We're not going to get another shot at Truth.
Sir, yes, sir.
We'll fight our first Halo 3 hunters while assisting some construction workers. Our first appearance of human civilian personnel as we make our way to the outside of the AA gun. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, this is literally the first time we're seeing non-Marine people.
That was it. You know, it was funny. They were running out. I was like, oh, it's construction people. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Same
actually
people
take
from
note of
Halo
that.
1 in the beginning? Maybe not the same exact people, but like...
No.
They're not... Okay.
Remember I was talking about how they're in Crow's Nest, there are those personnel with their suits on?
Yeah.
No, they're still Marine or like naval personnel.
They're just not like
These
in
people,
uniform.
these people were just, I'm a blue collar worker, and I'm
An
just,
egghead?
it's another day on the dude. Don't get me started on Palmer calling fucking scientists eggheads in Halo 4. It's so annoying. I hate it. I'm probably gonna bring it up when we get to Halo 4.
That should be a fun conversation.
I fucking hate that character, and what's even worse,
Palmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, and like Jennifer Hale voices her makes me even more annoyed because like the voice she does for Palmer is so like stereotypical Jennifer Hale voice.
Bitchy.
No, it's just like I feel like she like in Rivet in Ratchet and Clank she does a great job, but like some characters are just her like normal voice, and it's just like not
She doesn't
good.
do anything extra to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sidebar, but relevant. The AA gun. Oh yeah. So yeah, we fight the AA gun. Not that fight is anything like super. There's nothing.
We blow it up.
Important to talk about. The AA gun explodes, sending the upper section flying down the cliff. Master Chief and the Arbiter stand on the cliff of the crater. Wow. Master Chief and the Arbiter on the cliff side of the crater on the hill. Wow. Who wrote that? That's horrible. Anyway, Master Chief and the Arbiter stand on the cliffside of the crater of the recently destroyed anti-aircraft emplacement. Multiple squadrons of longswords streak overhead, followed by 3 UNSC frigates, including the Forward Unto Dawn, Lord Hood's flagship. The Covenant fleet is hovering above them, with the Forerunner dreadnought centered below them. At the center, the artifact. So the artifact, or the portal, known to the scientific community as the Accretion of Void, is a Forerunner artifact in Kenya, Africa, on the planet Earth, designed to generate a slipspace portal to Installation 00, aka the Ark. It was buried between the town of Voi and the city of Mombasa, and has been uncovered by the Covenant during the Battle of Earth in late 2552. So that's right now. So yeah, again, this is like what brings them to the Ark.
Sure.
The Ark isn't on Earth. This is a portal to the Ark, which is Installation
Makes sense.
00.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I feel like it's very confusing. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, do we even know what this thing is?
Yeah.
It's very awkward that it's on Earth too.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna
It's
say.
very like jarring.
Well,
what
yeah,
the
and I
fuck
guess
is this
so.
thing?
Like, yeah,
It's
it was
huge.
hidden. Well, that's the other thing. So, like,
How did we not find
that's
this?
what I mean. Like, so wait, we didn't
Yeah.
find this gigantic. That's like, and I think it's Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen when there's a gigantic metal skeleton underneath the pyramids, and no one checked that at all. There's definitely never been any X-rays or sonars done of that. It's so true. We never found this gigantic portal that's under the fucking ground.
You're telling me there's a giant disc thing in Earth that teleports you to the control room of every Halo ring? Are you fucking for real?
But I guess that does
No
make sense in the
way.
way of like humans are supposed to
Ron
be the
Perlman's
reclaimers,
like,
right?
no, the eggheads didn't find this one.
Motherfuckers. But like that does make sense, I guess. Like in the way of like humans are the reclaimers, right? It's supposed to be the idea, like they're
Right.
so like they
And,
would need
and
to be
we
able
don't
to get.
have the lore yet that the humans were involved in the war with the Forerunners and the precursors. Is that what they're called? No, yeah, precursors.
I sent you that TikTok, right? The one that
I
was like a
watched
very.
it, yeah.
It was
It
kind
was-
of interesting. It was just
yeah.
a very quick crash course in like Halo lore.
I feel like even in 4, they don't talk about the race that the Forerunners were at war with that created the Flood. Like in that video.
So
I'm
is
like,
that why the flood? We might have talked about this already, but that's why the flood was created, basically to take out the Forerunners, like by their enemy, or was it like?
No, I'm trying to think. How were they created?
Also, it is funny how like
I'm trying to remember. It like they were created during that war, but it was
not necessarily on purpose.
no. There's like the precursors turn into them, or whatever they're called.
Oh, that's right. Don't they use? It's coming back to me a little bit
I
now.
don't-
They
I don't-
do something that like is supposed to cure them of something, right? And then it turns them into the flood, and like
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
like that's vaguely
that
coming back
sounds
to me.
about it. Again, that's not like. I think we probably actually. I'm trying to like. I'm actually since I've been uploading these, we're like at the flood part in the uploads when we're recording this. But I don't think I actually talked about the origin of the flood, just what they are.
I don't know. We might not have. Anyways,
And this is the
continue,
last
please.
game with the flood. Awkwardly enough,
Wow, that is funny. They never show up. I guess you.
this is the last game the flood appear in. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I guess they are the major bad because
no ODST, no
Obviously
reach,
not
no
reach.
4, no 5.
Wow.
Isn't that weird to actually think about? They're only in.
They have
they're-
to show up in Infinite then. They have to.
I'm curious if they're going to.
Yeah.
well, it's funny. I forget how they tie a bow on this one. Like actually, like with the flood and all that stuff, and like what the secret weapon that we're gonna
Right.
get to talk about. Yeah.
I actually have the same issues too, and I'm thinking, I'm like, how did,
What happens to them?
right? Well, think about it. In Floodgate, there are flood on Earth,
Yeah.
but like even reading this, I'm like, we're like jumping ahead a little bit. You go to that ship to blow it up. Well, the Covenant actually glass void. They kind of They kind of gloss over that point that the shipmaster glasses.
Well, that's a fun. Yeah, and
that
it's like,
area
yeah.
of the Earth. Like,
And that
did
was
we
to
just-
destroy the flood.
Did
right?
we
Yeah.
just like gloss over that?
No
one?
big deal.
That's how the flood died. It's just like I don't think you hit hard enough on that point. That like the Covenant they glass part of Earth to stop the flood. Anyway,
Probably did the right thing, sadly. But continue.
Lord Hood. All ships fire at will. The frigates engage the Forerunner Dreadnought. Their magnetic accelerator cannons discharge in volleys and explode. Explosions coat the Forerunner Dreadnought's surface, but the ship remains unscathed. The Forerunner structure begins to open like a starfish. The Forerunner Dreadnought is lowered into the structure, and an energy beam being focused on it. Everything soon blacks out. Another Cortana moment. This is the way the world ends. A large glowing sphere of blue light soon appears, centered by pitch darkness. In the sky above, the artifact and the vessels of both the UNSC and the Loyalist fleets are drifting in the air disorganized. The large fins of the portal are focusing energy on the sphere. What did Truth do? Cough. Did he activate the rings?
No, sir, but he certainly did something.
Thelvadim roars angrily as the Forerunner Dreadnought rises safely into the sphere, followed in close order by the rest of the Covenant fleet. Evac wounded and regroup wherever Truth went.
Sir, new contact. Slipping in.
The Indulgence of Conviction emerges from the slip space to the east of Void. That was the ship that entered slip space earlier than when they mentioned it, and hurtles just over John and Vadim. It is smoking with rancid fumes. The air is darkened and smog rises, veiling the sun as the ship loses altitude and crashes into the ground out of sight. There is a flash of light and deep rumbling is heard, followed by an eerie silence. An omen of ancient evil is in the air. What is it? More brutes? Says the Arbiter.
Worse.
Fades to black, level, ends. The flood have reached
You
Earth.
really thought? I'm just saying. I feel like Thel would have known exactly what that was. I don't want to.
I kind of do too.
Maybe he's just playing dumb.
Yeah, he's looking at the camera like I gotta play this up a little bit.
Yeah, like let's get a cool
let's get a little
moment
bit
in
of
it.
cool. Let's get a little bit of sizzling.
It's kind of interesting that they say, oh, one flood spore can destroy an entire species.
Yet they just took out an entire ship full of them. No big deal.
Yeah,
But I guess the idea was that like if you let one get away, even just one,
right.
that's
And,
why.
and
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
That's
they're-
like any virus.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
spores are big. The little guys. Like I think we
there were some
Literally,
parts in this.
in the episode we uploaded today,
Yeah.
I listened to it today. We talk about the size of the spores, which is like large.
aren't
Yeah.
they bigger than grunts?
2 to
Just-
6. They can be like 2 to 4 feet.
Oh my god.
Like
that's
in-
insane.
Yeah,
A dog.
They definitely
it's
look.
like a fucking dog.
Yeah, I guess they do look like they would probably be 2 feet. Well, especially in this one, I think that, like you're saying, it kind of lines up a little
I
bit
just feel
more.
like Master Chief's like really tall and just really like big.
We
compared to them.
we are not normal size. That
Yeah.
is something to think about too. I wonder if they make the game differently because of that. It's like the protagonist is not normal size, so everything needs to probably scale correctly.
Yeah, I felt
to that. Like
it's
the
funny,
Marines
in the first
have
one,
to be shorter than you.
He felt like the same size as the Marines almost. I felt like in Combat Evolved, whereas this, I think they definitely do play up that size difference more.
So, boys, Floodgate, the 6th campaign level of Halo 3, and the first Halo 3 level in which the Flood appears. Master Chief and the Arbiter, alongside the UNSC and Sangheili forces, must eliminate the Flood by any means necessary. We start off the level, the sky is different, we have an ominous color going on, it's fearful, the environment looks different. How do we feel? I feel like that the beginning of the Floodgate it's such a tone shift.
It gives me like Halo 1 vibes with first time you see the Flood. It's like horror. They did like kind of step back to the horror aspect, and I really like the design of the level.
Absolutely. I feel like this is one scene from this game that thoroughly stuck out in my head. Like coming over that precipice and seeing like just this smoggy, shitty looking like place.
Like
and like
everything changed.
The sun's kind of peeking through the shitty like
just enough. Looks
just
like a
tiny,
clips.
yeah. It's good. Definitely poked out at me.
Yeah, as we move down the hill, we see brute combat forms jumping buildings for the first time.
We've ever seen that, right?
Yeah, and actually one of them has a skull. If you kill it, he drops it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's where the skull is. The Flood are back and more dangerous than ever.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
but just
okay.
real quick sidebar, like, it really does, like, apparently this Halo showrunner just lost its thing again.
I love how we're doing like the news.
I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up.
It just
So
does make
what
me
did that say? I didn't read.
I think they just lost another showrunner from creative
Fucking
differences.
lame.
Like so, and
Get
but,
Neil.
like,
Get Neil.
Get Blomkamp.
the more we're like playing this, I'm like, this is a fucking Space Marine story that you have the thing in. Like, there's like parts in this, especially when they're starting to like fuck with like Marines. Like the voice acting is really well done
in this,
and they're
yeah.
like, "Ah!" Like it
Yeah.
really sound like I'm like imagine like seeing like you can make oh my god, there's so much potential. It just makes me sad, like, that we haven't seen something like this.
This
in,
is
like,
the
live
first.
action.
I don't think you see it in Halo 2 as much. Maybe I'm wrong. Because, well, actually, no. There's no Marines in the parts where the Flood show up in Halo 2.
Well, do they not take over bodies in that one still too?
No,
Or
they do.
Yeah, that's
They
what
do.
I thought. Yeah,
But like this, you are seeing Marines die and getting Flood like infected like right away, and they're screaming, and you see the bubbles.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we're still in like early 2 generations ago graphics. It's not the best, but like it's still like you were just saying.
no,
like,
it's
you
fun.
Get
Like
that vibe.
they could have really I guess it sort of is, but like, and I guess this would have taken it in that way first. But they could have taken it in like a Dead Space vibe. Even like,
Oh,
there's
man.
like
Is
it-
Dead Space out at this point?
I don't know. It might have
No,
been. I don't think
probably
it was.
not because
This is 2007, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dead Space is probably like 2008, at least 2009.
But it's
The
just
first
like,
one, yeah.
It's just I forgot how like kind of nuts that those parts are. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Hey Google, when did Dead Space come out?
Dead Space's initial release date is October 14th, 2008.
Oh,
a year later.
Yup.
Yeah, a year later.
There we go, baby.
Thanks, Google.
She's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I was waiting for her to respond.
Now you're lying.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. The Flood. It's spreading all over the city.
How do we contain it?
Find the crashed Flood ship, overload its engine core. We either destroy the city or risk losing the entire planet.
Do it.
Chief, make your way to the crash site.
We backtrack through a decent chunk of the storm, but for the first time, I don't mind backtracking.
I was gonna bring up like this level is pretty much backtracking, but yeah, honestly,
and it's not even like you go through the whole thing, but yeah, it feels like it's such a different vibe. You're versing an entirely different enemy set. Like it really, it's like
enough of a change.
they
while
finally
still being in
learned
the
how to
same-
do
yeah.
backtracking right. I'm sorry. I was
No,
speaking
you're
over
right. I
you.
didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, correct. That's basically what I was saying too.
Yeah. While we are backtracking, at one point we will pick up the flamethrower. Remember, this was cut from Halo 1.
I totally forgot this even existed when I picked it up. But
you can get it in multi. I had it
Yeah.
more in multiplayer than I didn't even use it in the single player.
Are you ready for this name? The
Yeah.
M7057/defoilant projector, more commonly known as the M7057 Flamethrower, is a UNSC heavy ground weapon. This is a standard chemical flamethrower which projects and ignites a stream of volatile semi-liquid fluid. Flamethrowers are cumbersome and relatively difficult to tactically employ, just like we found out in World War II. When they were a mess.
God.
We get another Cortana moment, but this one's a little different. Chief, connection drops. I can't tell you everything. It's not safe. The grave mine. It knows I'm the drops out. we're moving into back to that, remember that makeshift like hospital place. John and the Arbiter force their way through another wave of flood and find a Marine huddling in the corner of the large room previously used as an aid station. Surrounded by 3 dead Marines, the Marine is holding a pistol and will occasionally aim it at his own head before lowering it and burying his face in his hands.
The LT, the sergeant, they were all infected. I could see it crawling, sliding around beneath their skin. Oh. And then they got up, started to talk. Oh, God, their voices. Oh, God, no, make them stop. I did them a favor. Yeah, that's it. I helped them. Maybe I need to help myself.
Occasionally, if you head outside, then return to the Marine, his body will have disappeared and the pistol will have been left on the ground with a single bullet missing, insinuating that he had committed suicide.
So again, reminiscent to 343 Guilty Spark, we find that one Marine doing like this
Absolutely,
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Except he's not like quick to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
and shoot at you.
Yeah,
No, that other, he starts just shooting at you immediately, right when you turn around. Yeah.
He does kill himself eventually, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you walk away and you hear a gunshot.
Yeah. With no time to spare, John and the Arbiter continue on ahead to the lake bed. Master Chief and the Arbiter enter the lake bed of Void, where the Scarab was previously destroyed, and this is where my boy returns. Hail, humans, and take heed. This is the carrier, Shadow of Intent. The shipmaster is back.
I mean, for real, they can't get better with these shit names.
I love when
even
he
the one
shows
that they
up.
ran. I meant to say it. I got distracted, but the one that the flood came in on, you said the
Hold
name.
on. We're going back
And
to
it was so
Indulgence of Conviction.
Yeah,
So cool.
it is.
Like you couldn't name anything cooler than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is like again, I think this is why I like Shipmaster, because of this line. He just, "Hail, I am here.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
It is me, the
It's
Shipmaster, with the Shadow of Intent."
I show up in the nick of time. Always.
I was waiting to make my entrance.
John and Thel pause to see 3 elite-controlled CCS class battlecruisers fly in formation as an assault carrier slices overhead from slip base. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood. The Arbiter.
My brothers, I fear you bring bad news.
High Charity has fallen, become a dreaded hive.
And the fleet has quarantined and broken,
A single ship broke through our line, and we gave chase.
but we had a fleet of hundreds.
Alas, brother, the flood, it has evolved.
And it indeed has evolved. So yeah, to contextualize what they just said, pretty much the reason Shipmaster is coming because he was chasing
Pursuing
the
that
ship
ship, yeah.
that left High Charity, and I don't think I knew that.
I didn't realize
it makes a lot of
that
sense.
they were like quarantining it. Like, I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, again, last time we left High Charity, the flood was overthrowing it, which is probably a few, maybe like day or two ago at this point, right? It's only like night and day has passed.
Yeah.
So it's only probably been like at least 72 hours. So I would imagine the elites are still like dealing with the situation.
Yeah, I don't. The way
High
that
Charity.
the way that Cortana's talking, I always took it as it was a longer period of time.
Right.
Like that's why it's but also
she
there is
deteriorates quick.
But I was also gonna say in space they could use this relativity is always a thing. So like it depends on, but I guess they don't really seem to explore that in this like that much.
He goes through the portal when he comes off the anodyne, whatever it's called, spirit.
Well, no, but
or
it's like,
whatever.
but like
Just
this.
for Dreadnought, and like it's only been a few hours. Like
No,
they
I
make
know.
that clear.
No, I know that, but like
But,
in
like,
relative
good
terms,
point.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like Interstellar, I love to use that. Like when they go on that water ship or that water planet, and they're like, well, an hour here passes fucking 10 hours relative or 20 years on Earth.
Good point.
So, but they don't seem to like.
but in space, this time change. I know when you're on a planet.
I
time-
don't. So I don't know. I
These
actually
are
don't.
the
Yeah.
questions we need answers to.
Well, I know. We need Chris Nolan.
343.
God damn it.
So let's talk about our first, well, not our first contact with pure infection forms, but these infections forms. The pure flood are a type of flood first featured in Halo 3 during this level. As implied by our name, the pure The pure forms are not the products of infecting a biological host, but instead composed entirely of Flood biomass. Because they employ a calcium-based exoskeleton for protection, these forms are significantly more resilient than the conventional Flood forms encountered in the first 2 Halo games. Genetically, they are composed of the same Flood supercell, which infects and transforms all other victims of the parasite, but are made entirely up of recycled bones, muscles, and other biomass collected by the Flood rather than reanimated corpses.
That's brutal.
Again,
Nice.
very thin, like that's incredibly thin. Like it just blows my mind that I did not see these. Well, I guess I never really watched that movie when I was younger, and like it's something I've kind like a movie that I've come to like really just like on a purely like almost even just spectacle level, just with the way.
Do you like body horror?
Well, I like it in that way, in the way of like it's just the way they had to do that and how like good, like it looks so fantastical that it's so fake. Like I don't like real body horror, like when you're doing like Hostel or something like that.
Some of that,
that's
some
no
of that
good.
shit.
But
like,
when you're doing something like a stomach opens up and like it bites off a head, like it's so fake that I just find it. I'm like, wow, that looks so real and insane. They did such a good job. But like, it really does remind me of that. The way it just basically is just this mass of just bullshit. But the way
massive bullshit,
literally, and then but like the
poop.
crazier thing here is like it knows how to use tools. It's flying fucking ships like with Halo, and I guess it technically can do that in those movies and stuff too. But it's a very fucking scary enemy, which I guess I don't know if they necessarily took full advantage. I mean, I was scared
they don't
by the
go
Flood,
into it, but again,
it's a very
I don't think
terrifying
that
fucking.
humanity really has time to learn about the Flood.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, look at Lord Hood. He asks Keyes because Keyes has fought the Flood at this point, like in Halo 2. Like, he hasn't. He doesn't know.
Yep.
He hasn't been briefed on fighting the Flood. Like, why would he be?
Absolutely.
I imagine the Flood is like top secret Oni information. Like, they wouldn't disseminate that.
Absolutely not.
Throughout,
No, they
like,
would have
the
been like, and
military.
a
We found
nuclear
a-
bomb accidentally exploded today in downtown.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these pure infection forms. The Stalkers are extremely agile and can jump large distances. They tend to crawl on ceilings and walls before leaping at the opposing enemy. They attack with their claws, though they will employ hit and run tactics most of the time.
You just missed it. I just went like, you were reading that, and I went like, and then he's like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
is that
that's
one?
the one.
Okay.
I like saw it, but I like just wasn't paying mind to it. You can get an assassination in when they run behind you, which is interesting. Ranged forms can usually be found clinging to walls or ceilings, though unlike the Stalker forms, they cannot move from a given spot. They can fire sharp projectiles without the need of a weapon. Their special ability is lowering their spine to create cover and making it harder for the players to kill them. And finally, the tank forms are the largest form of Flood. Unlike the other pure forms, they cannot climb on walls or ceilings. These Floods can give a tremendous amount of damage and can kill you in one hit on higher difficulties. They also occasionally spew infection forms from their mouths, which I don't think I knew.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't know. I never noticed that.
It takes a long time to kill them. It takes a long time to kill one with other weapons, but an energy sword can take them out in one hit.
Speaking of energy swords, have you guys played? Have you seen the new season of the Master Chief Collection? Season 7, it's all elites.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
I have.
They have like different color energy swords now. Like yellow, green, red. Dude, they look so good.
I would love to see elites be brought back in Infinite, like as customizable characters. I know
See,
it's tough.
that-
So
but,
much
like,
armor.
Yeah.
My hope that was if they kept co-oping
That could be a
it
season, too.
in
Sorry.
Infinite, they would bring back the Arbiter as like one of the teammates. It doesn't look like Locke's going to be in this game. I think they've totally done away with Locke.
That's
think
a little upsetting. I mean,
Yeah,
I like.
okay.
I like
I
they
think he
so
could've-
double down on Locke.
Well, they
It's
doubled
like
down on
really
him and
funny.
then lied about like I think the thing that was the most
Egregious. The
marketing.
egregious was just like the marketing and the way it
Yeah.
just felt like we're gonna be playing like Halo 2
I
as
can't
the
wait to,
Arbiter
when we
and,
get to Halo 5 to talk about that marketing because it's like so opposite of 3, right?
and it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
opposite but also just outright lies kind of it felt like throughout most of that. But yeah, we'll talk.
One trivia fact about the pure Flood infection form. The Flood Juggernaut, a Flood form cut from Halo 2, was an early concept for the Halo 3 pure form. The Drenal, another deleted species from Halo 2, may have served an inspiration for the tank form. This is further proven by a piece of concept art in the art of Halo 3 that appears to be 3 Flood Juggernauts engaging several Marines and John 117 in combat. So yeah, these like Drenal things literally look like they look like big carrier form guys. They just have like bigger arms.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense. Oh no, sorry. The Flood Juggernaut look like that. The Drenal are like they actually look like Elcor from Mass Effect.
Really?
Yeah, you remember what they look like? They're
I think
like,
so. Yeah.
discard human. They talk like this.
Yeah. Discard human now.
I don't know why I said discard human. No reaction. They do talk like this though.
This is them.
I am Elcor. Anyway, so John, I notice I do that a lot.
John 117.
No, I go, so
Oh well, no.
the Master Chief and the Master Chief, the Arbiter, and the Elites fight their way through the infestation and arrive at the crash site. Chief, the Elite. Yeah, that's you.
I was
Sorry.
gonna. It's
yeah,
yeah.
No, that's you.
Chief, the Elites are looking for something. We didn't. Okay. Chief, the Elites are looking for something. We didn't believe them when they told us. It's Cortana.
It's Cortana, Chief. She's on that ship. Find her and get her out.
Totally missed it when he said that. By the way, because when we got in there,
again, bad sound mixing. There's a lot of dialogue, like even those line between the Arbiter and that Elite, like that's ambient dialogue that you can just run by and skip.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
when they're talking, right, when they first come down. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I
a
missed
bad
that,
sound
yeah.
mixing. They don't make it like
noticeable if you
pertinent
want.
that-
Yeah.
right. It's just like they move you right past it.
Yeah.
We move our way to the crass Indulgence of Conviction, a Covenant CCS class battle cruiser that was captured and infected by the parasitic Flood, used in an attempt to infect the human homeworld of Earth. Master Chief and I read something similar. Master Chief, the Arbiter, and the remaining Elites fight past dozens of pure forms, combat forms, and infection forms to the massive burning hulk of the crashed Flood battlecruiser. Up an incline and an ominous hole resides in the ship's hull, leading to the interior.
I shall remain here. We will let nothing pass.
Master Chief drops in alone. Chris, do you want to be Gravemind?
Sure.
So we drop in there and we get like Cortana moments, but it's Gravemind.
Do not be afraid. I am peace. I am salvation. I am a timeless chorus. Join your voice with mine and sing victory, everlasting.
Inside the central chamber of the Flood-infested crash battle... Such a mouthful. Inside the chamber of the crash battlecruiser, John finds Cortana in a small Covenant handheld memory unit. I'll be
Cortana, and then Chief. I'll Chief.
You want to be Chief?
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
be guilty spark.
Okay. Chief!
Cortana.
High Charity, the Prophets, Holy City. It's on the... No. High Charity, the Prophets... No, I'm reading this wrong. High Charity, the Prophets, Holy City. It's on its way...
Cortana.
Suddenly, the humming of the Phantom's gravity drives are heard. A Phantom appears over the open chamber. John turns and readies his assault rifle at... Readies his assault rifle at it. John turns and readies his assault rifle at it, while 343 Guilty Spark floats down from the Phantom, which continues to hover overhead.
Reclaimer?
A flood combat form appears to the right, and 343 Guilty Spark turns and uses his powerful energy beam on it, destroying it in a single hit. 343 Guilty Spark turns back to the Covenant device where Cortana supposedly is, and begins to interface with it, a beam projected from his central eye.
I must act quickly before your construct suffers any further trauma.
Master Chief grabs Guilty Spark and pulls him away from Cortana's storage unit.
Wait, leave her alone.
If we do not take this device to a safe location, somewhere I can make repairs.
343 Guilty Spark continues to try to project his energy beam into Cortana's storage unit.
On Halo, you tried to kill Cortana. You tried to kill me.
Protocol dictated my response. She had the activation index, and you were going to destroy my installation. You did destroy my installation. Now I only have one function, to help you, Reclaimer, as I always should have done.
So, referencing Halo 1. It's funny because, like, we see Spark in Halo 2, but he actually has no interaction with Chief.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's all with the Arbiter. So it's like, you gotta remember that. Like,
Yeah, no,
he
that
wasn't
makes
with
sense,
Master
yeah.
Chief, and
No, it's a good little bit
He's
of-
talking about that Halo ring. You know?
It's needed.
Can we rotate paragraphs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, for these, you should start breaking them up into to bullet points.
Because
then that way you know
this
like,
cutscene
it's
is
on a full.
chunky. There's a lot
of shit
going on.
going on.
So what? Well, so you're starting on the first one. I'll go second. Chris goes third. And then we'll just keep going down the line. Sound
Okay.
good?
Oh, I'm going.
Oh yeah, do you want me to? I don't
No,
care.
I can start.
All right.
John 117 stares wordlessly at 343 Guilty Spark, then slightly motions with Cortana's storage device. Spark takes Cortana's device away, shooting his beam into it. While the Phantom projects a gravity lift, 343 Guilty Spark enters it, and John follows.
The view cuts to an aerial shot over the whole town of Voy at a high altitude. Although the clouds obscure the surface, part of the crashed flood-controlled cruiser is still visible. The Phantom flies away from the ship, while the 2 CCS battle cruisers of the fleet of Retribution glass Voy with their energy projectors.
The view then cuts to an aerial one above the Forerunner portal. Its fins are open, and blue energy streams from their tips to the open slipspace portal, drifting ominously above the construct. Fighting on Earth has ceased, and the Battle of Earth has ended with the departure of the Prophet of Truth's fleet through the portal hours earlier. 4 vessels of the Sanghelian fleet are gathered above the portal, and 343 Guilty Spark's Phantom arches to the largest of them, the assault carrier Shadow of Intent.
Inside the bridge of the Shadow of the Intent, the elites and humans are gathered around a large holographic table, with Shipmaster Taz Vadum floating on a gravity throne at one end with his elite attendants. Master Chief and Thel Vadum in the middle, and Fleet Admiral Hood and Commander Miranda Keyes at the far side of the table. All are silent except for Guilty Spark, who is bobbing at the center of the table and interfacing with Cortana's memory unit with his projector beam. I'll be Vadum.
I'll stay Guilty Spark. Let's go down, and there's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. So you're gonna be Chief. I'll be Cortana.
I'm Chief still.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be Hood. You want to be Miranda Keyes?
Yeah, I'll do
Chris?
Keyes and Guilty Spark.
All right. This should be fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm just Chief.
Yes.
Okay.
Will it live, Oracle? Can it be saved?
Uncertain. This storage device has suffered considerable trauma. Its matrices are highly unstable.
343 Guilty Spark glances at the Arbiter and Lord Hood.
No, this is well, it's not the Arbiter. It's Shipmaster.
Oh,
Taz.
I'm getting
Taz,
mine.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. These all elites look alike to me.
Vadum and Vadum.
Did you just say that?
Jesus Christ.
343 Guilty Spark glances at Vadum and Lord Hood.
Perhaps one of our technicians. That will not be necessary.
Coincidentally, the storage device works again, and with a holographic projection of Cortana springing up.
I am Cortana. Chief!
Success!
High Charity, the Prophet's holy city. It's on its way to Earth. When the army of flood. I can't tell you everything. It's not safe. The grave mine. It knows I'm in the system.
Cortana's image flickers and stalls. John turns to Taz Vadum.
Your Chief.
Oh, that's right. Jesus. I'm so not used to doing the in-between. I'm sorry. It's just a message.
Let it play.
343 Guilty Spark jolts the device with another beam.
But it doesn't know about the portal, where it leads. On the other side, there's a solution. A way to stop the flood without firing the remaining Halo rings.
Suddenly, Cortana's skin lights up. She clutches her head, gasps in a sudden pain, and collapses onto the floor.
Real quick before we read this part, I feel like her doing that is like a very iconic in the trailers, like
the
Cortana.
way she kind of falls.
Yeah,
No, I know exactly what you mean.
like falls. But yeah, like I remember for some reason that like moment, like
Very well. No,
I
yeah, it
remember
sticks
that
out.
really
I
well.
agree.
Softly, so I'm reading this softly in agony. Hurry, Chief. The Ark. There isn't much time.
Cortana's recording ends. She is left staring with desperation at John.
I'm sorry.
No matter, Oracle. We've heard enough. Our fight is through the portal, with the brutes and the bastard truth.
Elites around the room raise their forearms and roar in agreement.
As Hood, fine, we'll remain here. Hold out as long as we can. As Shipmaster. Did you not hear? Your world is doomed. A flood army, a grave mine has you in its sights. You barely survived a small contamination. And you, Shipmaster, just glassed half a continent. Maybe the flood isn't all you should be worried about. One single flood spore can destroy an entire species. Were it not for the Arbiter's Council, I would have glassed your entire planet.
Lord Hood angrily raises his fist at Vadum, but Miranda Keyes interrupts.
Sir, with respect, Cortana has a solution.
Cortana? Did you see her condition? How damaged is she?
While Hood and Keyes argue, John bends down and observes Cortana's pained, frozen figure. still collapsed on the holographic table.
She could be corrupted for all we know. Her solution, it could be a flood trap.
We should go through the portal, find out for sure.
What we should do, Commander, is understand clearly that this is humanity's final stand here at Earth. We risk everything, every last man, woman, and child. If we stand our ground, we might have a chance. Who's Arbiter?
I don't think we picked an arbiter.
I don't think we did. Do you want me?
Yeah, go for it.
No. If you can, if your construct is wrong, then the flood has already won. I'll find now as chief. I'll find Cortana's solution and bring it back.
Earth is all we have left. You trust Cortana with that much?
Sir, yes, sir.
This is either the best decision you've made or the worst. Hell if it is, Chief. I doubt I'll live long enough to find out which.
Lord Hood turns, looks wordlessly at Miranda Keys and exits the bridge.
All right.
End scene.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Inside the Shadow of Intense hangar bay, both the elites and the UNSC are getting ready for battle. While a separatist phantom drifts into the hangar on the far side, 2 M12 Warthog LRVs race to the Forward Unto Dawn's loading bay, drawing near a group of Marines clustered around some UNSC crates. At uneasy rest, opposing the Marines is a Major sitting on a Ghost, along with a few Spec Ops Sangheili. The Major's particle beam rifle is resting next to the Ghost. Sergeant Johnson, with his arm full of stolen Covenant carbines, brushes past the wordless elites, stopping only to scoop up the Major's rifle. The Sangheili, resentful at this non-permitted collection, rise challengingly around Johnson. Johnson ignores them and continues walking.
Nearby, a pair of ODSTs are joking with each other that fell when Thel Vadim passes by with an acquired M41 rocket launcher over his shoulder and a flamethrower in his left hand. The ODST and a pair of nearby Marines watch Vadim in awe when 343 Guilty Spark drifts through the Marines in tow behind Vadim, leaving a Marine speechless. Johnson rejoins the Marines and begins to hand out carbines.
The scene cuts to the fore of the hangar, where a Pelican dropship lays before the hangar's energy field. John and Miranda Keys stand at attention before Lord Hood, who looks at them grimly from the rear of the Pelican as the troop's bay door shuts and the Pelican takes off. Keys glances at John wordlessly, and the two leave, going off on their own business.
Hood's Pelican arcs away from the gathered Sanghelian fleet as the Shadow of Intent powers its engines and thrusts into the portal, followed by 8 cruisers, a carrier, and the UNSC frigates, Forward Unto Dawn, and Aegis Fate. Fade to black. That's the level.
That is the level.
Bada
I totally forgot about this scene with Johnson and the Arbiter.
I did too. I didn't even think.
Proving to their troops that we are working together, by holding each other's.
No, that
weapons.
was cool. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even really notice it as
no
until you pointed
words.
it out,
Yeah, and they're both the troops I think they're disgusted and looking at each other first because a week ago
enemies.
They were mortal enemies.
Yeah.
And now it's it's not about this stupid spat we had. There's
a bigger issue,
bigger threat.
Yeah. Right. It's cool.
I love this cutscene.
It was great.
It's cool seeing the Covenant and the UNSC kind of come together
and go through those kind of growing pains, of kind of working together.
There's still some tension between Shipmaster and Lord Hood.
Yeah. Clearly, Shipmaster's super hostile.
Yeah, he is.
Well, you can tell
I would
he's
have
a very
glassed Earth.
Well, you
Jesus.
can see how prideful, it just kind of shows you through with how the elites are. I mean, I feel like we talked about before. Very prideful people. He's like, no, I'm right and I know it. Fuck you.
Maybe he is right.
No, hey, you never know. But gentlemen, I think that wraps this episode of Replay, Relive, and Re-Experience up for this week. Guys, thank you so much for listening live with us. No, you can't watch live. I'm just so used to it. We've been doing a lot of live podcasts lately. But thank you for finding this podcast, listening to it. Whatever you do, you can find us on YouTube, on all your favorite podcast services. You can find us on all of our social media pages. We are at Delco Nerds on most things. We have a Facebook page as well as a Discord channel, which is a lot of fun. We talk Halo, maybe even some James Bond. Who the hell knows?
He's picking things out.
He's picking the room again.
All this information can be found on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. We have a nice email address, DelcoNerds@gmail.com. You can send us in some comments, questions, or concerns. We love to hear from you. But other than that, guys, we will see you next time. For Chris, for Gooch, I've been Trio. Take it easy, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you soon.